Okay. All right. Hello. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Hiya. Today's another problem. It's another problem today. Same problem as before. I had to restart it again. That's the same problem. We can hear you and we can thank you, Ian. Okay. Anybody else? One more person, so I know it's just not Ian. I mean, that's what I need. I need a couple of people to say that it's okay. But thank you, Ian, very, very much. No echo. That was my fault. Okay, good. I didn't hear the echo. Thanks for the jokes. I didn't hear the echo. Anyway, welcome to Lewis Schaffer's Uncooked. Uncooked. Thank you. You guys come in, talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to go comb my hair. Okay. All right. Hello. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Hiya. Today's another problem. It's another problem today. Same problem. Okay, ignore that. Ignore that. That's my phone. I mean, I should have stayed on YouTube, but I didn't stay on YouTube anyway. Thanks for coming. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Thank you for. We're not gonna have two bad shows. I mean, the other show wasn't that good, but this show is going to be good. Anyway, we got three people watching, and then we're going to start the. We got 11 watching now. Okay, that'll look all right. Can you hear me again? Well, I'll start talking. How are you guys doing? Hello, Gnome. Hello, Ian. Hello, Alan. Hello, Alex. There's a slight lag. What is this? What does a lag mean? What do you mean by that? Hi Ho Kermit is here. We basically chased away every single girl with all my talk. See, this is the thing. I think I'll just say this stuff to people and then they're going to like me. But they don't like when I say the things that I say. You think that they might. Am I right? You think that they might, but they don't. Scott, MC Scott, thank you for coming in here. You think that they might, but they don't. They don't. They don't. They don't. I think I'm trying to be loving, but I'm not loving. I'm not loving. And so these shows today could be the absolute worst. Whatever these are, they're not even shows. You know they're not shows. They're not shows. They're just streams. These streams could be the worst streams that we have had. Anyway, don't worry, Lewis. Everyone I knew has left me for things I say. Well, who cares about you? I care about me. Peekskill is in the house. Is she in the house? Fatanai is here. Marianne, there's Marianne over there. Hello, Marianne. Let's see. That's a song too. Hello, that's a Leonard Cohen song. That's a Leonard Cohen song. I've been looking at my stuff because I got to get rid of some of the stuff that I have here. I got just so much stuff. This is what happens when you can tell there's something big happening. It's like what happened when the World Trade Center was blown up. I started cleaning stuff immediately. And that's what I feel like now. I feel like there was a guy on Twitter. Did you see the guy on Twitter? And he was saying he was a Muslim guy, and he said to the English people, if you're not happy with the If you're not happy living in the country, you can just go back to where you come from. You know, the Netherlands and Germany and whatever, you know, and, you know, because they're Angles and Saxons. And it was a joke. Maybe it was a joke. It probably wasn't even a joke. That's how you don't know. It's a joke. But people got really upset. They got really upset with this guy on Twitter. You know, get the F out, whatever. So Long, Marianne. That's the song, Alan Williams. Exactly right. That's the song. So Long, Marianne. That's a Leonard Cohen song. I mean, for a guy who was a poet to suddenly become a musician, or maybe he wasn't a musician, to suddenly write these songs that was so good. And that gives hope to all of us. All of us. Leanne is here. God bless you, Leanne. Marianne and Leanne, the two ladies of the night. And I love Leonard Cohen. And one of the reasons I love Leonard Cohen is he's sitting there. He doesn't want to perform. He doesn't want to perform anymore. So he goes to a monastery, and he hangs out in a monastery. He's like working in a monastery, basically. And he gets word that there's no more money because his manager, I don't remember exactly who this is, and I don't want to defame anybody, but his manager basically stole all of his money. All of his money. I mean, I don't know whether this is I think it's a true story, but it might not be a true story. It sounds like it might not be a true story. Stole all of his money. And so, anybody know this story? And he had to go back out to work. Let me find out what the real story is on this thing. Let me find out what the real story is. And this is Leonard Cohen. About his manager. And let's see what it says here. Let's see what it says in Wikipedia. People found him very good looking. I've been described as Leonard Cohen, the dead Leonard Cohen. Okay, let's see what it says about his manager. F manager. He discovered that his manager had stolen most of his money and sold his publishing rights, prompting a return to touring to recoup his losses following a success. Can you imagine you give your manager probably you have to give your manager the right to sell your publishing, and she goes out and sells everything while you're locked. I don't know, you're locked, you're in a monastery. And so he had to go on tour. In 2005. And then what year did he die? He died in 2016. So he had 11 years. He had to work, but he looked like he was so happy. He looked like he was like really, really happy. He was a Canadian. That's when they moved to Canadian. His mother was from Lithuania. I've been told I'm 1% Lithuanian. And I'm 99. I know I've often said that I'm 100% Ashkenazi Jew from the Ukraine, but it came back. They actually changed it a couple of years after I took the test. So for a couple of years, I was 100% Ashkenazi Jew from the Ukraine. Now I'm 99% from the Ukraine and 1% from Lithuania. Anyway, so that's his story. You know what? I didn't do what I wanted to do, which is I wanted to just make sure that we could see this thing. Window capture. What happened here? Where did it go? Where did the cursor go? That's the cursor. Is that the cursor? Yeah, there's the cursor right there. Can you see that? Can you see that, the window capture? I mean, my thing is not that bright. Let me see if I can make this thing brighter, make this thing larger. Window capture, video capture. Maybe that's the video cap. Maybe make this a bit larger, because I know you want to see what I look like. Do you want to see what I look like? This is not going to be as easy as I thought it was. I don't know. Maybe my computer isn't as perfect as I thought it was going to be. Anyway, Vantanai says, if you are a mix of Celt and Saxon, and on my daughter's DNA test, there was a small percentage of Jew. Well, that's true probably for most people. Most I mean, there are only 15 million Jews. Where did they all go? How does this work? Video capture. Let's try this. Let's lift this up where it belongs. Can you see what I'm doing? No, I can't see what I'm doing. Window capture, the video capture device. I'm just trying to get this thing to be a bit larger. And it's not doing anything. You know what? We'll just go back here. Yeah, everybody's got a little bit of something. What's your opinion on the Salonika Jews? Well, Thessalonia, that city in Greece, was almost an entirely Jewish city. Most cities were entirely Jewish cities. A lot of cities were entirely Jewish cities. So, so then, I mean, there was the fear of people living in the cities, and what do you know about it? I know very little about it. I mean, I've read about it. I've read about all this stuff. Marianne says hello. She's saying hello to Gnome Hunter. She's saying hello to Hi-Ho Kermit. She's saying hello to Alan Williams and Alex. So she's saying hello to everybody. So let's say hello to Marianne. So what is your opinion about those people? I mean, there were Jews all over the world, and people don't like the Jews. Enough of the Jews. Oh my God, it's such bad news. But this is what you have to live with. You know what it's like? It's like every country has its problems. Every country has its neighbors that want them dead. Every country has a neighbor that they want to take over that's living in their land. Who saw The Hobbit? Remember when they go back to was it The Hobbit? They went back to their mountain. It was their mountain. They wanted the money in their mountain. Who remembers this? I don't even remember this. I don't remember this. What's going on here? This is wrong. That's wrong. How are you? We're not... there was a large contingent of 50,000. That's probably because it was, cities were not as huge as they were back in the day. They were Jews, but amongst the Jews... They were not ardent supporters of the Jewish state. They were more loyal to Greece and the Ottomans. And then what happened? I don't think that that's exactly true. Out of all the Jews, I think they were the coolest, and I'm kind of biased. Well, what happened to them? Should we Google that? What happened to them? First of all, the Jews, honestly, enough of the Jews. Why don't you just say, enough of the Jews? You can tell me that, enough of the Jews. But the Jews are some of the most loyal people in the world. Because if you like the Jews, we will like you back. Like in nuts in the Nazi times. The Jews thought, we fought in World War I for you guys. It's the same thing with me as America. I love America. If you love the Jews, it's like the way I feel about women. I say this all the time. Sharon Crawford is here. That's my friend, Tristan's girlfriend. Hello, Sharon. Hi, everyone. It's complicated. Great, everyone is having something to say. It's freedom of speech. Well, I mean, it's not really freedom of speech because I could say I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Most of them did not return from camps in Poland. Only 2,000 came back, and they too left. Oddly enough, during the young years of the many visited them in Constantinople. What does that mean? Oddly enough, in the young years of many visited who in Constantinople? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. So there you go. They were sent off to be. Can we not discuss this? Maybe we shouldn't discuss it. Well, welcome to Sharon. Sharon is a very good friend of mine and the girlfriend of my good friend Tristan, who is my Crystal Palace supporting friend. Is Shanks in the building? I didn't see Shanks' name. Let me see. Didn't Chinese Elvis say there aren't any races earlier? Well, that's interesting that he said that. He said the United Nations came out with that in 1950. That was the left-leaning political belief back in the day that we're all alike, and that even the quote unquote, I don't know how to say it, even the subliminal races, the ones who've been taken over by by the main people, let's say, the oppressors, are just as good as the oppressors, because there are no races. What's the difference between a black person and a white person? A marginal amount of, the tiniest little bit. Many NAZIs visited wealthy Jews in Constantinople, especially in that. Why would they visit them? Why would they just go? Let's go to Constantinople and visit. Especially, okay. I'm also sorry if it's touchy. I just thought you'd like Jewish history. That doesn't sound true to me. Why would an NAZI in the early days go to Constantinople all the way to be with Jews? It doesn't make sense. The difference is culture, surely. The difference is being told you're different from us. Eventually, over time, people are basically the same. They lose track of who they are. The Jews, for example, my people, would have been totally obliterated, and they were obliterated in certain countries where they weren't demonized. Like China, there was a huge Chinese population of Jews, but the Chinese people didn't fear the Jews or hate the Jews, and they intermarried with the Jews. Next thing you know, there are no Jews. But I would say, Lee G, the difference is culture. It's like you take a look at what's the difference between an Irish person and an English person. Am I right about that? What is the difference? There's no difference. Barely any difference. But if you want to sit there and say, I'm Irish, I like to drink. Well, wait a second. I'm English. I like to drink. You know what I mean? Something stupid like that. Race is not really a scientific term. No, it isn't. It isn't a scientific term. There are differences in people. Some people are tall. Some people are short. Some people are smarter. Some people are, whatever. But right now, not under President Obama, but basically led on by him. He didn't start the whole thing. They just said, hey, let's divide everybody up. Let's make black people hate white people. Not that they didn't hate white people already, but, just like, let's focus on the differences between people. What is that called? I forget what that's called, Alan Williams or Lee G. It's called something. So why would, maybe you could Google this question, Gnome Hunter. That they visited wealthy Jews. Why did they visit them in Constantinople? Why would the Nazis go, like for a holiday or to get the money? Who knows? And not all Jews are wealthy, but a lot were wealthy. A lot of Jews are wealthy. Okay, so that's what I'm saying here. I'm saying here that we learn. It's like my problem with what's going on in Britain together, and I'm wearing my pro-Britain shirt. This is my pro. Can you see the pro-Britain shirt? Can you tell me when this shirt was? This is actually quite a well-made shirt. I've never worn this out. Never. It says "It's coming home, England." England. What are the main tribal divisions between current world Jewry? Well, I don't know. I don't hang out with enough. I used to be all Jews all the time. I mean, if any of this stuff, Vantanai, becomes really dull, you just tell me and I will not talk about it. But the point is, I will, but I won't do it about it. But the main tribal divisions between world Jewry is, do you support Israel? Are you a globalist or are you a leftist? A globalist? Or are you Team Britain? Are you Team Israel? Do you support the nation state? That doesn't make it redundant. It makes sense to categorize people like such differences, not discriminate. People tend to confuse those, but as a classification, it is okay. It is not okay. It is kind of okay, but it is not okay. If you just say, hey, that's okay, stop making a big deal about it. There is no world Jewry there's no organization, exactly right. But what I see the big difference is right now, it used to be between do you practice, do you don't practice? Do you believe in what do you call that when you become a Jew? Conversion, or do you not believe in it? Those are the things, right? But now it's like, do you support Israel? Do you not support Israel? It's the same thing in England. What do English people believe in? Do you believe in Britain, or do you believe in the globalist regime? I think that's a good point I'm making. No, it's not coming home. It's not coming home. I mean, the next thing, I don't know, what year was this from? It says it's not coming home. What year was my shirt from? Can you see the shirt? Can you see that? People classify themselves by what they do, which is their culture. That's also true. You say, I mean, in Britain, it's like, I'm working class, I'm middle class, I'm upper. You do that. They don't do that in America, because you could become middle class like that. You get a decent job, you become better educated, and you do. As my rabbi says, you call this an organized religion. That's exactly true. It's totally, there was no one leader. There's a leader of certain sects of sects, like the Lubavitcher Rebbe, but generally speaking, there isn't. Imagine being a Hasidic Jew. You go to the doctors, and there is a far left nurse or doctor. Exactly right. It's they are closer to the Islamic, the Islamic way, than I am. I mean, that's an actual good point. What does 96 mean, Lee G? What is 96? But we've been classifying everybody, because I'm black. People going, I'm black. I am black. And because that's from America. I don't think people had that problem. I see you don't like my mystical story about Balkan Jews. You are free to look it up if you want to. Sabatendorf is an interesting fellow. Okay, you're making me write it down. Why don't you just provide the information to us, and I could say it. What is the guy's name? Sabatendorf, and that's Noam, and it's about Jews, Nazi in Constantinople. Okay. It's interesting. I'm enjoying listening to everyone's opinions, says my friend Sharon. Like when I hooked up an old Korean War naval radio as a girl. We need family, never believed anything. What does that mean? I'm enjoying listening to people's opinions. Like when I hooked up an old Korean War naval radio as a girl. Yeah, but you were in Canada. Were you not in Canada at that time? You need family? What do you need family for? But we do need family. Never believed anything. Football came home in 96. Do you think this shirt is from 96? It came close to winning, right? England didn't win. That was the year that they almost won. I came to the country in 2000, so I know nothing about anything that happened beforehand. Lee G, I realize that. But are Russian Jews more Russian than Jewish? Are black Jews more African than Jewish? That's the question. It's very complicated. People are always asking me these questions. It's like, is a mushroom a plant or an animal? Whatever it is, or is a fungus a plant or an animal? Well, sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. Still loving you people. Carry on. Okay, well, carrying on. We hadn't stopped. But thank you, Sharon. How is Tristan doing? I provide the info, but I can't write a book on here. No, you can't. All right, so we're going to find out. Eventually, the information will come out. Grok separates race from ethnicity, but neither term seems anything specific. Yes, exactly. People call themselves Jews, and they may not be that Jewish. Lee G, it's a grouping of culture. They share more within one another than other whites or Asians. I mean, what can you say? You got to say it's complicated. It's complicated. I remember I met a girl. I mean, I grew up in an entirely Jewish town. It was called Great Neck, Long Island. And I met this girl, and her father was not Jewish, I think, or her mother. No, her mother was not Jewish. I remember this vividly. I was like old when this thing happened. I remember asking her, well, are you a Jew or are you not a Jew? Because your father was Jewish, but you are not Jewish. You know what? I forgot what she said. Can't believe I can't remember what she said, but she gave me a look. Oh, this is what she said. She said, and it was a bit nasty. It was a bit nasty. They're the producers coming in. It was a bit nasty, okay? And she said, I'm not like you. Hold on a second. That's not me. Hey! That's not going. Yeah, so I heard the thing. Sorry about that. You see my horrible personality. What was the point I was making? So she said to me, this is what she said. She said, I'm not like you. Meaning I'm like old Jewy all the time. I'm not even that Jewy. I don't wear a yarmulke. I don't pray. I don't go to synagogue. Okay. So that's what she said. She said, so that's what that is. So Liji says, Vatten, I swapped Jew for Christian, and you have my answer to that. As an English Jew whose family fought in all the wars. Yes. But what happens, Liji, when the British people kick us out like they've done twice or three times in the past? Okay, we're not like Christians. We are not like Christians. We can run and go to another country where we will take our knowledge and survive, or we'll fight for this country like no one has ever fought for this country. That's what I think it is. I don't think ancient Egyptians have much in common with South Africans. I don't know what that has to do with this. Less than the French and the British, at any rate. Less than the Jews and the Christians, I think. I don't know. What are you saying? That's an incomplete thought. Please write that out a bit better. Ancient Egyptians, in general, are unlike any Africans because they weren't Africans. That's true. Like Thessalonica is like Alexandria. Alexandria was also like a Jewish city with a huge amount of Jewish people living there at one time. Like New York has a huge amount of Jews, but if you get this Muslim mayor, they'll move somewhere else, and they'll talk about the great days of New York when all the and what's missing there, the Jews. Then you come to Hungary with me, Lewis. Or we go to Israel and fight. Yes, maybe you're right. Maybe that's what we need to do. I mean, yeah, maybe that's what we have to do. I'm glad you've mentioned that. Lee G, you've made me happy. Because it's like, what do we do? What do we do when the local population... I hope this is interesting to people. Is this interesting? Lee G, you don't know whether this is interesting or not. There's going to be all Jews all the time. And it's not the most interesting thing to a lot of people. It's interesting to me because it's so complicated. And I run into people. It's like that girl I ran into. I said to her, what are you? And she said, I'm not you. I'm not you. I remember that look on her face. I don't remember it actually, but I remember the tone of disdain. Maybe she was mad at her dad because her dad was a Jew and her mother hated her dad. Who knows what the story is? Alexandria was more Greek than Jewish, but I hear you. Yes, exactly right. Sorry, that's true. Alexandria was a Greek city. It was a Greek city, and then slowly the Greeks got pushed back, and let's go to Greece and fight for the Greece. If I'm not going to fight for myself, who will I fight for? Basically. Who will I fight? It's topical right now. I think it's topical because, Lewis, did you ever visit the Jew man's sneaker store in Hunts Point, New York, a classic place? No, I never did. I mean, remember that area. I was recently up there, going to the Shea Stadium, and we went. What was the area called? What was the area called up there? Where Astoria, and it's really booming now. Long Island City. I don't even know why we were there. We went to a cafe. I was with that girl who broke my heart. She didn't break my heart, but maybe she did. I don't know. Tell me about this shop, Paul Manning. Tell me about the shop. Lee G, I saw a commentator talking about how African Jews found it difficult to assimilate in Israel. Yes, because Israel was was trying to be like a European place, and these are African people. And so, what makes a Jew a Jew? What makes anybody an anybody? You look at people in this country. What makes somebody English? What makes somebody British? Nobody even calls themselves English anymore. Yes, that Vatanai, that's true. That doesn't mean they're not Jewish, but some people could say you're not Jewish. You don't believe what we believe. And then you get into arguments and things. You know how many millions of Jews there are? There are only 15 million Jews. 15 million Jews. Because you can't become a Jew by force. It's not like the Islamic faith. You can't be put a gun to your head and say, now you're a Jew. You go, oh, yes, I'm a Jew. No, it's by the mother. The mother. And the mother has to believe it. If the mother doesn't believe it, you might be out. He was a dealer, though, and though he felt loyal and wanted. Who was a dealer? Who was a dealer? Oh, Demos Roussos was a great Alexandrian Greek. Phenomenal music, yeah. Well, there used to be Greeks everywhere, There used to be 15 million Jews equals 40 million opinions on Judaism. Yeah, I've got multiple ones. That is exactly true. And I remember going to Israel. When I went to Israel, I was 18 years old, and I was blown away. That's too strong a word, but people were yelling at each other over subjects. It's like they say, well, why don't they get Netanyahu to do something? Because they're all fighting with each other over the right approach to this story. The Jews argue and debate, which is why they make great lawyers and artists and all that stuff. Am I right? I think I'm right. All the hip-hop kids and cool rappers swore by it and went there to get the latest sneakers. All the hip-hop fans would say, yo, we're going to see the Jew-Mans. It closed down many years ago. Well, I never even heard of it. Maybe, you know what? Do you want me to go look on, without questioning whether it's a real place or not, do you want me to go look on it on the internet here? Paul Manning, I'll do it if you want me to. My parents wanted me to go to a kibbutz. I told them I'm English. I wish I had gone. You know what? No, because kibbutzim are not what they used to be. Kibbutzniks are not what they used to be. They basically sold out. It was a socialist enterprise, and then they brought in Islamic workers to do all of the work. And then they opened factories and it became about money. And initially it was quite socialistic. I've been to a kibbutz. Everyone's eating together like it's a summer camp. I mean, this is back then. This is like 1975. Not anymore. I don't think not anymore. Personal favorite is From Souvenir to Souvenir, Alan. I don't know what you're saying about that. Vatan, I say, you'll have to excuse me if I'm not making sense. I'm at work and have to keep one eye at the work on the work system. Okay, sorry. I don't mean to question everything. Anyway, that was in 1989 before I did all the DRUGS and England started going. Yeah, it was 89. That's 35 years ago. Yeah. Demis was on Blade Runner. I don't know what that means, Alan Williams. Darklands is here, girl number 3. My friend went from Wales to be a chef on a kibbutz in the 1980s. Yeah, a lot of people did. It was good fun. It was really, I guess it was good fun. It was then there was always going to be in Israel. There was always, it's like, because it looked like things were all right for Israel. You didn't need to go. You didn't need to move there. But now things have changed. What's that song? My favorite song, Things Have Changed, by Bob Dylan. You want to listen to that? So that's what's happening now in the world. So this guy, Blade Runner soundtrack was Vangelis, another Greek musician. Okay, well, there you go. Vangelis. Yeah, that was quite spooky. Blade Runner. I saw it. I saw it in the original form. What year did that come out? That came out in the early 80s? Mid 80s? When did Blade Runner come out? The guy who made it said it's supposed to look like Sunderland. Like the whatchamacallit, like the processing plant for the oil thing. Who is Vance? What about Vance? What about Vance? So last night, last night I'm feeling better today. Thank you for asking. I didn't feel that good during the lunch, the early show today. Was it horrible? Was it horrible? I think it was pretty bad. It was bad. And then I put them up, and I don't think they're attracting an audience. Maybe I shouldn't put them up and say, well, listen to this stream. What do you think? And the number of people watching it has gone down a little bit, because I'm not putting them up and saying, hey, watch the thing, because I don't think they're that good. These streams are that good. I remember eating in a kibbutz, and what I ate there, it was magical, kind of. I'd never eaten food like this. It was just all yogurt and cucumbers, fresh cucumbers, and on a hot summery day in Israel, on a hillside in Israel. It was lovely. It was brilliant. Anyway, what was I talking about? Aphrodite's Child is One Weird Trip. Genius work. Well, who wrote that? Who wrote Aphrodite's Child, Sharon? We're going to find out about Aphrodite's Child. Anyway, so what happened was, so I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't put these streams up, because you guys know what the stream is. You know it's not just, you know that. I don't know what you know. I have no idea what you know. I don't know. What do you know? What do you know? What do you know? Hold on a second. I don't even know what I know, but what do you know? The director's cut is better than the original. I'll have to find it again. The director's cut of Blade Runner. Yeah, I mean it was quite good. It was quite good. I mean, I've seen documentaries about it. I mean, it was good. It was supposed to look like what the future is going to look like. Of course, it's not going to look like that. It's not going to look like it does in Blade Runners. Aphrodite's Child was Vangelis and Dennis Roussos. How do you pronounce that? Roussos. Dennis Roussos. Is that the way you pronounce it? Is that the way you spell it? So I'm not sure. In order for me to be successful, in town, there's an evangelical Christian cafe. The women have tried to tell me that I wasn't a proper Christian because I believed in priests and saints. The church is full of divisions times a million. Yes, that's true. Every religion is. And they fight amongst themselves. Look at what happened in this country between the Catholics and the Protestants. I mean, I'm growing up in practically an all Jewish town, and I don't know what's going. I don't know the difference between a Catholic and a Protestant. I know that the Kirks who lived across the street, Kirks like Charlie Kirks were a Catholic. I didn't know anything about it. Never Hear Kier is in Turkey to sell 20 typhoons for $8 billion pounds. They're going to be used against Israel probably, or used against Greece. Who knows what's going to happen? At some point, you got to say to Turkey, when I don't know, maybe what do you say to them? What do you say to the Turks? Remember the guy who came in there, Roussos, says Gnome Hunter. Sharp O, I'm not sure how else to describe it in words. Roussos.
Yeah. Till your thing.
They okay, come in. I don't want you to walk around. I don't.
Too hot in this damn house.
It isn't too hot.
It's way too hot. It
is not too hot. Okay. Are there any more Orthodox? Are there more than Orthodox and Reformed traditions amongst the Jews? There's a million of them. Of course there is. A million of them. The difference between the Jews and other countries is we're not top-led. You got a group of people, there's 10 of us, we're setting up a service somewhere, and you find out what everybody agrees to. And that's where it starts. And then you hire a rabbi who agrees with you. You don't hire a rabbi who's like yelling at you saying, you can't be in this church, you can't be in this synagogue if you don't agree with us. I think that's what it is there. Yes, there's Hasidism. They dress 18th century garb and read Kabbalah. Interesting, but hardcore mystics. Yeah. I mean, they're going to save... The number of them are going to save the Jewish people because they're having so many kids. The left-wing ones, like my sister, she had one kid. Nobody has any kids. When Labor was in opposition, they heavily criticized Turkey's exclamation, maybe apostrophe S, Erdogan, but now they go to his feet. Yeah. I mean, because he's a threat to America or something. I don't even know what. Why do you think they like Erdogan? Many missionaries of those churches approach me, and I don't have the heart to tell them how silly they are, because I am Orthodox, and they're pretty much the epitome of heresy. This is what Noam Hunter says. Yeah, there's lots of different churches. There's lots of different churches, what can you do? And then people break apart and then they get back together again. Okay, thank you very much, Lee G. He says, great description of Judaism. I don't even know what I've said. This is the best show ever. Thank you, Alan Williams. I think it is. I think it's a better show than earlier, but who knows? Who knows where it's going to lead? Who knows where it's going to lead? The point I am making, let's get back to the point I am making. What's the point that you're making? Religions don't get along. People don't get along. Families don't get along. I remember my parents fighting, just the fighting. I mean, people fight, but because my father's family came from Brownsville and my mother's family came from East New York, or maybe it was the other way around in Brooklyn. These are like two neighboring communities. It's like fighting over Broccoli and Nunhead, or Peckham and Lewisham. It's like, what's the difference? But to them, it was a huge difference. Lewis, would you like to visit Israel again, or having already been many years ago, you are less inclined? I'm less inclined only for two reasons. One is, I'm now old. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to leave the house. I haven't even left. I left the house today. I walked, but I used to go out every single day to the furthest. I've traveled to 40, 50 countries. I don't need to anymore. I've been on buses and planes and trains. And that's what I'm saying. Do you want to go? I don't. I mean, it makes me sad, really. It makes me sad to see change. When you go when you're young, you say, oh, this is what the country's like. And then they always say, oh, you should have been here 20 years ago. You should have been here. You like the way it's like now. You should have been here when I first moved here, or it's amazing. You know what I mean? It's like and you don't want to be in that situation. Vatanai says, yes, the waitress was shocked because I liked a Catholic hymn about Mary. My ancestor to them are, don't be arrogant to say I'm wrong. Well, that means also the same with you. Don't be arrogant to say you're wrong. Did I find anything? No, you know what it is? I've been looking at my old clothes, and I think I'm giving stuff to the charity shop. We should have like a charity sale here. I would invite you, but it might be, I don't know whether... come to Lewis Schaffer's home. Is that the right thing to do? I'm not sure. I'll have to think about that. But Alex, no, I didn't find any knickers today. Japanese businesses, according to Lee G, often get to an age where they drop out of the corporation and join a Buddhist monastery for a few years. Yeah, well, why not? I mean, what do they do in this country? They go to a hospital and then they put you into a home where they kill you. they give you COVID or they lock you in your room to your bed. I've seen that in America. Horrible. Horrible. Maybe not a bad idea, Buddhist monastery, to look after the old people. I guess. I I'll have fond views of Buddhism. Yes, I won't be arrogant to say you were wrong. Yeah, we don't say we're wrong. Just say I disagree with you, but you could say I'm wrong. I never understood why anyone would fight over broccoli in Nun's Head. Broccoli is yummy, and Nun's Head tastes a bit too humany and nunny, says Paul Manning. Yes, well, people do. I remember when I met people, I was living in East Dulwich, and they say I live in Nunhead, and I'd never been to Nunhead, but it was like over the hill slightly from East Dulwich. It was quite odd. It was quite odd to me. So Gnome Hunter says, indeed, I agree. To judge another unfairly is deemed as a massive sin. But in general, I find them very militant. As long as they don't bother me, I don't care who you're talking about, Gnome Hunter. Who are you talking about? And would no doubt do them a power of physical and mental benefit to ensure great longevity, says MC Scott. I don't know. I missed my thought. Those... Are you speaking of Lee G, those Japanese retirees? I mean, you know, most countries most countries didn't live long, and it was an honor. It was respectful and honorable to look after your grandparents. Am I right? Isn't that true? So, I mean, how do you want to die? We're not old, you people. I'm getting 68. How do I want to die? I want to clean up my life right now, but I really have a very hard time doing it. What did I find today? You know what? Paul came by today because we did the radio show. I know you don't like Paul. Oh, you do. You will. You'll find something that I like him. But he gave me. Can you see what this is? This is a glucose tester. He gave me 2 glucose testers. Can you see the 2 glucose testers? I don't know how much these things cost. Look, I'm going to find out how much they cost. Okay, let's see. Let's go back up here. Let's go to here. These are called Essentia diabetes care. Let me just see what these things are called. Contour. They're called Contour. Contour. And of course I said I'll take them. I'll take anything for free. You come over and say, I want to bring these over to you. I'll take them. But let's see what it says. These are old ones. These are old. They're like 15 years old, but they look quite modern-y. They look really, really modern-y. Where it doesn't say. I don't see a picture of them. It must be really old ones. These come in a box. That's so interesting because I don't see any of them here. But I measured my blood sugar level. What's your blood sugar? How often do you guys measure your blood sugar level? I used to measure it every single day, 2, 3 times a day. And then because there wasn't much change really, and I knew if there was going to be change, blood glucose meters. I don't see what this one is. What is this one's called? This is called a Contour. Let's just see. Maybe it's from America. I don't know where it is. This is mad because it's not here. It's because they're old, but this is so modern. It's between 15 pounds, perhaps. I don't know. I'm not gonna. I mean, I have to buy. This is the one that I have. I got to buy more. This is not here. I don't know where this is. Images. Now here it is. It's used 32 pounds. with shipping, 34 pounds with shipping. Yeah, this is this one here. This is this one here. Can you, I mean, I know you haven't been looking at this thing. I'll show you. This is what I found. This is where I found. What's going on here? Yeah, very good. You looked after your grandparents. That's good. Are my kids going to look after me? I don't know. Girls tend to look after people. Okay, there we go. What's going on here? Window capture. Okay. Can you see that? Why is this beeping? Do we know why it's beeping? Let's go back here. Yeah, that's what this looks like. 2 of these things, 3 payments with Klarna. What is Klarna? Now I got to learn what Klarna is. I haven't used this thing in a little bit. This is it new? It looks like it's new. Let me see what it is. Essentia used glucose contour. Okay, we got this thing. I mean, it's not in a box. I guess nobody wants to buy it if it's out of a box. But I mean, it's just the thing you have to worry about is not that it's out of a box. I mean, you don't have to worry about anything, basically. The idea that you're going to get pinpricked and it's going to give you AIDS or something is something that I don't believe in. Let me go back. What have you guys said that I have missed? I've missed a lot because I was looking off of my thing. But thank you, Leanne, for looking after your grandparents for 6 years. You're a lovely, lovely woman. That's what you got to do. I looked after my aunt, my old aunt. She never married, didn't have kids. She was one of the first of that group who never married, didn't have kids. Never married, didn't have kids. I can get an endless supply of blood sugar testers. They give them away like confetti at the doctors. Well, that's brilliant. Yeah, well, I mean, maybe they don't have the value that they used to have. You know, they're a great thing. You should test your blood sugar. Should you not, Fatima? Why should you test your blood sugar? Klarna is a credit system. Okay. But people must be using it because it's listed all the time, listed under Klarna. No, I won't. No, it won't have it. It doesn't mean it. Repeatedly trying, in fact. Okay. Maybe you got the wrist blood sugar thing. My blood sugar is 4.6. 4.6, which is about 82, which is one of the lowest it's been. It's getting lower and lower. It takes a while for it to come down. You think, okay, I'm going to stop having sugar and my blood sugar is going to come down. No, it takes a little bit. It takes a little bit for it to calm down, basically. You know, that's what you've got to do. That's what you've got to do. You got to make it calm down. Come down and calm down. And there's 2 different words there. Come down and calm down. Something happened here. The beep is beeping. It's on window capture. I don't want it on window. Just say window capture, Lewis. It's one of the most successful ones. Borderline scam most of the time. Quite a troubled business, too. Are you talking about Klarna, Gnome Hunter? Did Paul gift them to you following a discussion about blood sugar? Or they just totally random health-related gifts? No, he asked me, he says, do you want them? Because they weren't his. They weren't his. And I think he says he doesn't want to test them. He came to my house during COVID, and he had gotten a jab, and he had been to the hospital because he had pounding headaches. Because the COVID vaccine is morally and health wrong. Okay. And he took the test, and you're supposed to be 5 or under. I think it's like 5% blood sugar or something. And he was 17. So I told him, you've got type 2 diabetes. You've got to do something about it. And he's done something about it. He looks fit. He's playing tennis. The girls like him. He's like me, except he goes to a club and plays tennis, and I come and talk to you people. And maybe you come and talk to me. Yes, indeed it was. The COVID thing was horrific, and it's still horrific. It's absolutely horrific. You do not inject stuff into your system. You don't inject Philadelphia cream cheese into your system. If you hit 4.0, speak to your son ASAP. Sorry, outfit. I don't know what that means, MC Scott. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means. But I do know you don't want to be too low in the blood sugar, but 4 is fine. I've heard people have ended up with high sugar levels after taking the fat jabs. I haven't heard that, but yeah, I'm not taking any jabs. You can lose weight on your own. You've got to be strong. You got to be together. You got to be, love will save the day. What's that song? Yeah, so you got to be careful. Is that true? Have you heard that? Forgive me, and please don't concern yourself, Lewis. You're reading 4.4 millimoles. No, I know. I'm not. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. And if any of you say something that's concerning, I'm going to check it out anyway. So, and that means I'll learn more about the subject that we're talking about. Vatanai says, we had someone here with a higher level of 26, and the doctor nearly had a fit. They had to go to emergency. Yeah, well, what do you think was the matter with them? Do you know what I don't know if you were allowed to reveal the inside information. But thank you very much for suggesting this, MC Scott. I do appreciate it. And I appreciate all of this discussion. What we're doing here is so important. I think it's important as we're dealing with difficult times and we're learning how to deal with difficult times. I'm learning. I don't know. I gotta sell stuff. I got 1 million of these testers. Here's another tester. What tester is this? This tester is keto to see whether my body is in keto. But I know it's not in keto, so I don't bother to check. And anyway, I couldn't buy it was really hard to get the strips, the little thing that goes in them, and they were costing like £1 a piece. £1 a piece. I couldn't deal with it. And then here, what's this thing here? This is what I have here. Wait a second. This is I've got a Sinocare. This is for measuring my my uric acid. Well, test my uric acid if you're interested in that. You're probably not. I don't care. I'm going to measure. These are the tests that I have. This is something interesting. This is my oxygen level. Remember with COVID, people were afraid of. So I went out and bought an oxygen tester. Can you see this here? Let's see what it is. I can hold it up. It's not like one of those things I can't hold it up. Lewis is very clearly very mindful of his diabetes equipment. I am. I'm very mindful. I test from time to time. Usually my wife's kid, it's usually 5 to 6. Good for a fat guy. No, you're fat. That's why it's 5 to 6. I was 5.9. Stop being fat, Fontenay. What does it say? I'm at 98% oxygen, and I'm at, oh my God, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. What do you think this is? What do you think that number is? That's hard to believe. That's really hard to believe. Why is it going down and up like that? Maybe it's not on tightly enough. Here you go, 43. 43, that's 43 beats a minute, 47 beats a minute. That's so good. Tulip is here. Hi, I'm new. You're new. You're new. KNEW, you know it all. Hello, Tulip 76. You are 49 years old. This was random YouTube choice. Is this a medical podcast? Is it a medical podcast? Do not follow anything that I say. It's a medical. It's the opposite of it's a medical don't follow podcast. It is. Yeah, I discuss a lot of medical stuff. Where are you from? Where are you from? Are you female or male? And I guess you must be female based on your name. Do you have any health concerns? Lewis, when you first started dabbling in stand-up, did you have any influences that you were aspiring to perform? Yes, to be like, yes. I mean, a lot. I liked a lot of comedians. I wasn't like one of those comedians that people actually like, oh my God, I've got to be like this comedian. But I did. I liked Don Rickles. I liked Sam Kinison. I liked a lot of people. Who do you like? Can't even remember who these people were. So Tulipa, where are you from, Tulipa? And meet the people here. They're all very nice. This is Leanne. She's very, very nice. I have met her. Nope, young and fit. That's really nice. Well, how do you know you're fit? Have you had any tests lately? You could come to the how do you know? How do you know? That's what we have to ask ourselves. How do we know? How do we know if we're fit? How do we know? I mean, I think I'm fit. I am an American. Lewis should give lessons to Starmer on how not to be a dull bastard. Well, I don't think I'm that interesting. What do you think? Do you think I'm interesting? I don't think I'm that interesting. It's really, I mean, are you concerned about your health? I mean, I could talk about it all day, but a lot of people don't like that. They don't like, well, maybe they do. Maybe it can be a bit painful. Right now I'm going to test my uric acid. And that's one of those things that I've had very high uric acid. I hope it's below 300, but I don't think it will be. But I'm checking. It takes 25 seconds to check. And I haven't checked myself in a couple of weeks, maybe more. Yeah, I am. I'm an American doctor. 485. That's not good. That's not good. Uric acid can be healthy, I think. I forget what it all means. But basically, if you have too much uric acid, you can have a gout attack. Do you have any problems, Tulip? Darklands is a girl too. She lives out there in where do you live? You live in Shrewsbury. Don't you live around there? Do you talk about other things? Yeah, we talk about other things. Of course we do. Of course we do. I mean, don't we talk about other things? I think we do. Oh, it is high. 485 is too high. 485, 480 is 5, 6, 7. It's about 7. Yeah, it's very high. Does Lou always do public health tests? Well, I only do public health tests on myself. I don't do it on other people. But so I would do it on you if you wanted to know. I mean, the problem is this is my first few months of streaming, and I'm not as hardworking. You may not like this thing, Lewis probably could be a doctor. I would like to believe that I know a lot, but I don't think I could be a doctor. In order to be a doctor, you've got to play by their rules. You got to believe what they believe. Is that not true? Is that you got to believe? So I don't do that. But the problem with live streaming, what live streams do you like? Hold on a second. This is this. It's a kind of a dating thing too. Yes, it is. It is a dating thing. I like people to meet each other and to care for each other. We talk about politics, life, love, world news, religion, food, and carbs. I'm on a low-carb diet. Yes, that's true. That is true. That's what we talk about, lots of different things. I would say this group is more like a social club. That's what I would say. For older peeps, because of our health? No, for everybody. The young people as well. I think it's not just for old people. It's for young people. Am I right? Oh, my God. Look at Why would I touch the top of the mic? Okay. In the future, I'll touch the top of the mic. I pulled the plug out. That's what I did. I'm not very tech. I did. I touched the top of the mic. Thank you, Kermit. I overdosed on Jamaican curry, Sicilian mountain stew, Turkish grilled meats in pita, and slow cooked lemon and oregano scented Greek stew. I went down with a goat. Is that a joke? Is that a joke? Are we still muted? I hope we're not muted. Is there still no sound? There should be a sound. It says that it's on. Urgent visit. Way to go. Is there still no sound? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Tech problems is a feature of the stream. Yes, that is exactly true. It's a big feature of this. Lots and lots of text. Where do you live, Tulipa? Where do you live? Okay, we're good now, but thank you very much for telling me to touch the top here. Phew. Audio visuals restored. Yeah, it's always a problem here. Sound is back. Is it a quiet weird pod or quite a weird pod? Anyway, where are you from, Tulipa? Anyway, so it sounds good. I mean, I can tell it sounds, if there's red in the front, but if I turn it on. Okay. You're right. Kermit knows it all. Kermit knows it all. Thank you very much, Darklands. This is a very good group. I mean, the thing about this show is, if we call it a show, is that it never has like two great shows in a row. And that's what happens. Like, that's what happened with stand-up comedy. With stand-up comedy, you know, I would do a good show, or one that got laughs, received well. Not good with spelling, no. Are you from Britain? Anyway, and then I would do a bad show, a good show, a bad show, a good show, a bad show. And then I did two good shows and then a bad show and then a good show and a bad. I guess that's the same with every job. Isn't that the same with all jobs? Major Hurricane Melissa, about to head to Jamaica, Category 5. Yeah, you know why? But this is wired. We're wired. You know why it's about to hit Jamaica? Because it's Jamaica and there are hurricanes in Jamaica. I mean, there are no hurricanes here. There's no weather. There's no weather in this country. There's no weather. But, you know, I mean, it's a bit scary. There's no hurricanes here in England, really. There was that one hurricane where the guy says, don't worry about a hurricane. The next thing you know, people were like worried about a hurricane. They were worried about the hurricane. No, they weren't worried because the hurricane was there and thousands of trees got knocked down. Where's my eyeglasses? Did I leave my? Oh, there they are. So you do the health of the weather. Yeah, the health of are you Jamaican? We'll do the health of if you're Jamaican health. Totally weird, Tulipa, which makes it fun. We're all friendly and have a good connection with each other. Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to maintain, is a good connection with each other. You know, I'm trying to learn how to be. I've only live streamed for 139 days. Plus, this is the 23rd day of a night stream. So that's 62 shows. This is all Lou does. Yeah, well, pretty much, yeah, I'm not a success. I think I've met you before, Tulipa. I got a feeling that you know me. I'm at 47 beats a minute. That's really good, 47 beats a minute. This cost me about 14 pounds. This is when I mean, whatever. 119, okay? And it is for charity or a bet. What is 119? What is 119? You mean 130? What did you mean by that? I remember in the 80s when the weatherman, Michael Fish, said there would be no storm. And then there was a storm. How embarrassing is that? And he's supposed to know what he's what he's doing. Am I right? Isn't he supposed to know what he's doing? He's supposed to know what he's doing, and he didn't know what he was doing, Mike. But I mean, the forecasting was very unscientific back then, was it not? No. 139 programs. 139 straight days. 100, that's a lot of straight days. That's a lot of straight days. This is why I have no money. Look at the thing. Can you see? You can't see it over there. But I'll show it to you here. Glucose, uric acid, glucose, keto. That's where the money goes. That's why I can't pay money to go out with you. Why am I doing the show? I'm doing the show because I had nothing else to do. I was basically fired from my job because I was incompetent at what they wanted me to do. And I wasn't doing a live stand-up show because I'm a stand-up comedian, or used to be. And so I wanted to do something. And a lot of people, they kept on asking me, when are you going to go back on GB News? A lot of people here, when are you going to go back on GB News? I say, okay, I'll do a live stream. I'd never done a live stream. I didn't know what was involved. So we've done a lot of bad live streams and some good ones. And like this show, what is this show about? Is it a show? Is it a stream? It's like me talking. Is it interesting enough? I'm not sure it's interesting enough. But there were a few people that I really like to watch. One of them is Thorian. What's his name? Thoria Apodocalypse. What's the guy's name? What's the guy? The monkey guy. Let's look for the monkey guy. His name is Thoria. Hold on a second. Thoria. I don't even know the guy's name. Thoria Apo. There he is. Thoria this guy here. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Here he is. Here he is. Ken Wheeler. He's changed his name. A Kentucky-based commentator, YouTuber. This guy here on magnetism. I mean, he's brilliant. Is this his stream? No, this is not his stream. But this is the guy. This is my man. How do I turn the sound off? Hold on, don't go anywhere. Yeah, he's like me. He's just like a guy who's like talking. I like this. I like this guy. Maybe you don't find it that interesting, but I like it a lot. I like him a lot. Did you see that? You probably didn't see it. Let me put this back up. You didn't see the guy. Sorry. This is what happens to me. This is what happens to me. Let me get back. Oh, I need a new something here. This is not working. Let me do this thing here. There it is. There it is. There it is. Can you see him? Can you see him? How come he's not there? Window capture. I don't know where it is. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. Okay, I apologize. But that guy, Thor, whatever it's called, him. You can't see him. You can't see him. Can you see him? You can't see him. So that's my guy. Why not do comedy show then? Yes, I should do a comedy show. I should do a comedy show. I'm not quite a hurricane, Alan. I want to thank you for doing these streams, Lewis. Thank you, Alex, for saying thank you. And I want to say thank you to Alex for coming into the stream and for making me and other people happy. We're all in this together. Susan Stevenson is here. How brilliant is that? Incompetent. You were the best thing on there, Lewis? Well, what on? I wasn't the best thing because I had to keep my mouth shut. I was a bit too erratic, and I should have just kept my mouth shut. But I can't do that. But some people liked it a lot. But remember, they're under incredible scrutiny from evil forces. Susan, Comedy Pod would be good. Not much around. You know what? My eyes are not doing as good as it could be doing. I wonder if there is fish in the waters around the UK. You have a fish weather presenter like Michael Fish. Funny-ish. Thank you, Paul Manning. Funny. Okay. My current reading, 96% blood saturation and 78 blood pressure per minute. Yeah, well, mine is half yours almost, basically. It's half yours, 37 to 40 something. Sort of have it. That's what it is. So that's a bit high. I try to lower that. I don't know if you can lower whatever it is. Mine is low. My blood pressure is high, but but it's low. I've watched him for years, Michael Fish. Tulip. Oh my God. Is Lou the guy that always getting in trouble with TV complaints? Yes, a bit. Yes. I get into trouble with TV complaints. I do. What can I tell you? Susan Stevenson says, hello, Steven. Keep your mouth shut. It's boring. I only watch your mouth, watch you on headliners. I'm having trouble reading this. I don't know what, because this light is so bright. Maybe if I move the light to the side here. How about that? How about that? Maybe that's going to make it a bit better. Is that going to make it better? Yeah, the problem is I've got this light right here, and it's gotten in my eyes. 11 Cherish. 11 Cherish is back. Hello, 11 Cherish. Thank you very much for coming back. I've watched him for years. Great to listen to. Yeah. Are you talking about me? You talking about me? Now I listen to Monkey Man by Amy Whitehouse, says Alan. I've lost my, I can't see. This light is. I'm going to turn this light off. Or maybe put the light behind. How about behind? How about that? Is that better? Because of that, it's like one of these light effects. Keeping your mouth shut is boring. That's what Susan says. It's right, but this is what you do. It's boring. Back to health again. Health is really important, Tulipa. I thought you had a suit on in the news. I did. I used to put a suit on, but this is Lewis Schaffer. You're coming into my kitchen here, and I think people are seeing me for what I really am. I think you're seeing me screaming at my kids, screaming at you, screaming at everybody, trying to be nice and friendly, and it's not working. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be as nice as possible. But thank you. When you say you're watching him, remember, I'm right here. I'm reading this, and I see this. So it's not like I'm him over there. I'm him right here. That's what makes you good, Lewis. Well, that's what I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be authentic. I'm trying to be that you like me who I am. I mean, I don't show you everything that I am, but pretty much, I think at the end of these shows, you could probably watch all of these shows, and you could find that you could write a book about Lewis Schaffer, where I'm from, what my parents were like, that I have a sister. There's all sorts of stuff. Where you shout at the producer, it's funny. I don't like to shout at him. He's my beautiful son. And I have another beautiful son. Mike Graham has been dropped from Talk for a Facebook post. Ridiculous. That's how under pressure, that's how the left-wing globalist police state is. They're gonna try to take me. They might be trying to take me off the air right now. Who knows with these people? Who knows? That's really wrong. And especially he's an old guy. And like me, I'm 68. When you're old, they don't want to hire you. At least in America, they don't, because they got to pay for your health insurance. They think you're going to die and get sick, because there's that health insurance. What did Mike say or post? What did he post? says Paul Manning. I'm going to turn this light off because this thing is wrong. Okay. What did he post? Let's see. I'm going to Google what he posted. There's I love this guy. His name is Aphoria, Theoria. Can you see the name there? Theoria Apophasis. And we're going to look over here. We're going to look here for what what did Mike Graham say? What did Mike Graham say? To get fired. You don't know what's behind the scenes. You don't know. It's like, what did I do to get fired? What did he say? Where would I find the information? I mean, you could go back to, what did he say? Does it say what he said? Did he say, tell them we're not effed by multicultural? The post featured a picture of Churchill alongside a picture of a crowded tube carriage with the caption, tell me we're not, I don't know if I can read it. We're not effed by multicultural bollocks. I think that's what it means. I don't know. Well, yeah, he's talking about, Yeah. I can't read it. I can understand because they want people to get along. I don't know. I can't say what he said because I can't say what he said. Is it a bad thing? I mean, social cohesion is very, very important in this country. And because the people have not been asked about social cohesion, and if you say I'm against if I'm against this, you're flying in the face of social cohesion. He might have been drinking. You know what I mean? But the people are very, very afraid. 11 Cherish says, Theoria Apophasis is great. Watched him for years and just can't spell channel. That's right. That's maybe why he's not a huge success. This is like a totally different timelines. This is like totally different timelines. What do you mean by that? Okay. He reckons his Twitter got hacked. That's an excuse you use. Or you just say, you know what? I spoke my truth. And then eventually it might come around or, you're going to be screwed another way. I don't know what the right thing is. Darkland says, that's interesting that you say that. Susan says, Mike Graham, the best presenter on talk TV. Yeah, but what he said, this country, we can't even talk about it. You'll have to go look for yourself and then we could talk about it. I asked Grok, and it was really what he said. He later said he'd been hacked. Yeah, because you got fired from your job. It's like me. I got fired from my job. Now I'm sitting here. Hey, everybody, can you like this post? Can you like this? This channel? Can you like the channel, everybody? Can you also go to subscribe? Tulip, if you can. It's free and you'll be known. Sorry. Mentapod has, I can't see. I've had this light in my eye. It's killing my eyes. Oh, that we can't. Okay. So that's basically been our show. We've been here for 90 minutes. It's enough of a show. Is there anything that anybody wants to discuss in our last couple of minutes? Okay, Cherish, anything you want to bring up? Because I want to thank you all for being here. Mike Graham thinks we can grow concrete. Does he think that? Is that Mike Graham or is that somebody else? But thank you, Susan Stevenson, for coming. Everybody, go to the thumbs up. Press the thumbs up button. It's free. It's not going to cost you anything. And then go to the alert button and press subscribe. If it's not there, it means you've already subscribed, so don't worry about it. But if it's there, press it, and you'll be told when we're doing a show. And then if you don't want to get the notifications, we'll cancel the notifications. I think this has been an okay show. It's not been the best show. What do you think, Kermit? Has it been okay? Leanne, thank you for coming in. Again, I appreciate that so much. Paul Manning, Gnome, Vatanai, MC Scott, thank you, MC Scott. Darklands, appreciate it. It's been a very busy show. Not super busy. I don't know how many people we've had in this stream, but it's a bit less than normal. But we've had problems in the beginning, and that's just the way it's going to be. Sometimes you're gonna have problems. I'm sorry for being on this stream. It's just very hard to do, to remind myself to get full stream and to get out of this. I'm checking to see how many people are watching and how many. Everybody, let's do us a favor and let's do the thumbs up. Let's do the whatchamacallit. Let's do the and also, if you want to, you can help out the stream by going to Ko-fi, KOF-I. You can do that. That'll make me happy. Or you can go to Patreon at Lewis Schaffer. I'm easy to find. I'm demonetized here because people complained about me. They complained about me because I'm not collegial. Because I'm not, I'm not collegial. Thank you, Sharon, for watching the show. Thank you, Lee G, for coming in here. Thank you for the discussion about things that I found interesting. But we don't have to discuss things that only I find interesting. I mean, everybody finds high-carb diets interesting. Do we not? I think we do. I mean, I want to apologize. I'm really having a hard time seeing. Maybe I'm having a mini stroke or something. It's quite possible. I don't know. It's not a major thing. Not a major thing. I had a cup of tea. I've had a lot of tea today. Well, I've had a lot of tea. But thank you very much. Thank you. I'm going to go to the end. If I haven't mentioned your name, tell me. Say, Lewis, what about me? Say thank you to me. And then I'll say thank you to you. Thank you to you. Thank you to you. Tulipa, thank you very much. Come back. Please come back. We're here every day at between 5 and 6:30 and 10:30 and 12. I think that's enough time in a day. Is it enough time? I think it's enough time. And I think at some point, the shows are going to get explosively good. I can feel it because I've been in this situation before. This is how Keith Bexley was here briefly. I didn't even say hello to you. But he says he was hacked. And he knows it was bad. It was a bit bad. Yeah, it was bad, but it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was bad. I don't know why it was bad. I'll tell you why. It's so bad. I don't think it was bad. But you got to say that it's bad. That's what you got to do. Otherwise, you're not being collegial, Lewis. Alex says there. I meant we wouldn't mind if it was more Lewis Schaffer, but it's still pretty good that the stream every day. You can come in early, you can come in late. Okay. Basically, so that's been our true, Keith. I think this has been good. Thank you, Cherish, for coming in. All right, we'll see you tomorrow at 5. Will we see you? On the way out, press the like button. Make sure, just press it. Press the bell button too. Go to Ko-fi and 10 pence a day. That's about $5 or something. It's like nothing. is like nothing, 10 pence. Nothing. And we're going to say goodbye. Are we going to say goodbye? Are we going to say goodbye? I'll see you later. I'm going to let you talk for a couple of minutes.